I guess you could say it all began with a cosmic hiccup. One moment, we were mapping the Kuiper belt, the next, our instruments were going haywire. Blips, anomalies, the whole shebang. Something big was out there, lurking in the shadows beyond Pluto. And that's how we found it, Planet X, the mysterious stranger in our solar system. Cap, you seeing this? I nudged Captain Emily Jang, my eyes glued to the radar screen. She peered over, her brow furrowing. Damn, she muttered, a rare expletive escaping her lips. That's no asteroid. The object, whatever it was massive, dwarfing Pluto. Its gravity was playing havoc with our readings, tugging at the edges of our solar system like a cosmic toddler. For weeks, we danced around it, our ship, the Magellan, a lone firefly in the vast cosmic ocean. We pinged it with signals, scanned it with every instrument we had. Nothing. It was a silent giant, a riddle wrapped in an enigma. The powers that be back on Earth were itching for answers. Were we looking at a rogue planet? A black hole? An alien mothership? The speculation was rife, the anticipation palpable. Finally, the order came down: investigate. We geared up, our hearts pounding in our chests. This was it, the moment we'd trained for. First contact. We approached the planet cautiously, our senses on high alert. The Magellan, a marvel of human engineering, was a speck against the planet's gargantuan form. It was a swirling mass of blues and greens, a living, breathing world. Atmosphere's breathable, Dr. Chen, our resident biologist, announced, her voice laced with excitement. There's life down there, Cap. The decision was unanimous. We were going in. The Magellan pierced the planet's atmosphere, a shooting star in the alien sky. Below us, a landscape of breathtaking beauty unfolded. Lush forests, crystal-clear rivers, towering mountains. It was a paradise. But paradise, we soon learned, had its guardians. As we descended, strange shapes emerged from the foliage. They were humanoid, but not human. Their skin was a vibrant blue, their eyes glowed with an eerie light. Aliens, I breathed, my voice barely a whisper. They watched us with curiosity, their heads tilted to one side. Then, without warning, they attacked. Their weapons, strange and otherworldly, fired beams of energy that battered our ship. We fought back, but we were outmatched. The Magellan, once a proud explorer, was now a wounded bird, its hull riddled with holes. We crash-landed in a clearing, the impact throwing us around like rag dolls. When I regained consciousness, I found myself surrounded by the aliens. They towered over me, their faces impassive. Welcome to our world, humans, one of them said, its voice a melodious chime. We have many questions for you. And that's how I found myself a prisoner on an alien planet. Their city, or what I assumed was their city, was a sight to behold. Buildings that defied gravity, shimmering with an ethereal light, pulsed and hummed with a life of their own. Pathways weren't roads as we knew them, but more like living vines, weaving through the cityscape and responding to the touch. They placed us in a chamber, not quite a cell, but not a guest room either. It glowed softly from within, the walls changing colors like a kaleidoscope. The air was filled with a sweet, calming scent, and a low hum resonated through the structure, soothing our rattled nerves. The aliens, who called themselves the Elon, were as curious about us as we were about them. They examined our suits, poked at our tools, and even sampled our food. They were particularly fascinated by Captain Jang, their eyes following her every move. I wondered if it was because she was our leader, or if they sensed something more in her. Communication was a challenge at first, but the Elon had a technology that could translate our languages. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to bridge the gap. They explained that they had been observing us for centuries, monitoring our radio transmissions and even sending scouts to Earth. We were waiting for you to reach a certain level of technological advancement, one of them explained, their voice a symphony of tones. We wanted to make sure you were ready. Ready for what? I wasn't sure. But the way they spoke, with a mix of caution and reverence, sent shivers down my spine. The Elon leader, a being named Xylara, took a particular interest in me. He spent hours questioning me about our history, our culture, our beliefs. He was especially fascinated by our concept of love and family. You humans are so emotional, he remarked one day, tilting his head in that curious way they had. It's both your greatest strength and your greatest weakness. I couldn't help but agree. Our emotions had fueled our art, our music, our passion for exploration. But they had also led to war, to conflict, to countless acts of cruelty. As days turned into weeks, I began to see the Elon in a new light. They weren't monsters, not conquerors. They were a peaceful race, living in harmony with their planet and with each other. They valued knowledge, wisdom, and above all, compassion. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something they weren't telling us. A hidden truth, a darker side to their seemingly utopian society. One evening, as I was contemplating my fate, I heard a noise outside our chamber. It was a faint scratching, like something trying to burrow through the wall. I pressed my ear against the glowing surface, straining to listen. Suddenly, a crack appeared, and a small, furry creature squeezed through. It was a cross between a cat and a lizard, with big, expressive eyes and a long, prehensile tail. The creature looked at me, its eyes wide with fear. It whimpered, nudging a small object towards me. I picked it up, my heart pounding. It was a data chip. I didn't know how, but I knew I had to find a way to access the information on that chip. It might be the key to understanding the Elon, to uncovering their secrets. It might even be the key to our freedom. I waited until the Elon guards outside our chamber had moved on, their rhythmic footfalls fading into the distance. With trembling hands, I inserted the chip into a port on my suit's computer. A flurry of alien code flashed across the screen, but luckily, the universal translator kicked in, converting it into a language I could understand. The chip contained a series of logs, personal entries from Xylara himself. As I scrolled through the text, a chilling realization dawned on me. The Elon weren't just observers, they were caretakers. This planet wasn't their home world, it was a sanctuary, a refuge for a species on the brink of extinction. The Elon's true form was revealed in the logs, grotesque, monstrous creatures ravaged by a disease they had unleashed upon themselves. Their beautiful humanoid forms were merely avatars, projections designed to interact with other species. They had sought out Earth, not as potential conquerors, but as a possible new home. A wave of nausea washed over me. The Elon, who had shown us such kindness and compassion, were hiding a terrifying secret. Were they planning to eradicate us, to make way for their own kind? Suddenly, the creature that had delivered the chip let out a shriek. The door to our chamber slid open, revealing Xylara, his face contorted in anger. "You have seen too much," he hissed, his voice taking on a sinister edge. "You are a threat to our survival." He raised his hand, and I braced myself for the inevitable. But instead of a weapon, a tendril of light emerged from his palm, wrapping around my body. I felt a sharp pain, then darkness. When I awoke, I was back on the Magellan, surrounded by my crew. They were overjoyed to see me, but I could only stare at them in disbelief. "How did I get back here?" I croaked, my throat dry. Captain Zhang explained that the Elon had returned me, along with a message. They had decided we were not a threat, that we posed no risk to their plans. They even offered us safe passage back to Earth. But I knew the truth. The Elon were playing a long game, biding their time until they were ready to make their move. I had to warn the world, to expose their deception. As the Magellan blasted off, leaving Planet X behind, I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the end. It was merely the beginning of a much larger, much more dangerous game. A game in which humanity was the pawn, and the Elon, the puppet masters. And the most terrifying part? We had no idea what their endgame was. The twist, the creature that helped me, the cat-lizard hybrid, wasn't just a random animal. It was Xylara's pet, a creature he had grown fond of. In a moment of empathy, the creature had decided to help me, to expose the truth about its master. It was a flicker of hope in a bleak situation, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, compassion could prevail. Back on Earth, my words fell on deaf ears. The world was too enamored with the idea of peaceful, advanced aliens to believe my warnings. The Elon had sent envoys, charismatic figures who charmed politicians and scientists alike. They spoke of cooperation, of shared knowledge, of a bright future for both our species. But I knew better. I could see the subtle manipulations, the carefully crafted deceptions. The Elon were masters of illusion, and the world was falling for their tricks. Haunted by the truth I carried, I became a pariah, a conspiracy theorist ranting about alien invasions. My crew, once my closest allies, distanced themselves from me, their loyalty to their government outweighing their trust in me. Driven by a desperate need to expose the Elon's true nature, I sought out the help of Dr. Chen, our biologist. She had always been the most open-minded of the crew, the most willing to consider the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Together, we analyzed the data I had stolen from Planet X, searching for any clues that could prove the Elon's sinister intentions. We spent countless nights poring over the logs, cross-referencing them with our own observations and scientific knowledge. And then, we found it. Buried deep within the Elon's genetic code, a hidden sequence that explained everything. It was a self-destruct mechanism, a failsafe designed to wipe out the Elon's true form if they ever failed to find a suitable host. The Elon weren't just caretakers of Planet X, they were parasites, desperate to escape their dying bodies and inhabit new ones. They had chosen Earth as their next target, and they were already laying the groundwork for their invasion. Armed with this newfound knowledge, we approached the world's leaders, hoping to convince them of the imminent threat. But they dismissed us as madmen, blinded by the Elon's promises of peace and prosperity. Despair washed over me. Were we doomed to repeat the mistakes of countless civilizations before us, falling prey to a more advanced, more cunning species? But then, I remembered the cat-lizard creature, the unlikely hero who had helped me escape Planet X. Its act of defiance had sparked a glimmer of hope within me, a belief that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the power of compassion could prevail. If a creature from another world could recognize the inherent goodness in humanity, then surely we could too. We had to fight back, not just for our own survival, but for the survival of empathy, of love, of all the things that made us human. The battle for Earth had begun, not with lasers and spaceships, but with the power of truth and the unwavering spirit of compassion. We were the underdogs, the rebels, the last line of defense against an insidious enemy. But we were not alone. A small group of scientists and military personnel believed me. They saw the truth in my eyes, the desperation in my voice. Together, we formed a covert task force, dedicated to finding a way to thwart the Elon's plans. We called ourselves the Guardians, a nod to the role the Elon had pretended to play. Our resources were limited, our technology outmatched. But we had something the Elon didn't, a deep understanding of human nature, of our resilience and our capacity for love. We knew that the key to defeating the Elon wasn't through brute force, but through exploiting their own weaknesses. We focused our efforts on the self-destruct mechanism we had discovered in their genetic code. If we could trigger it prematurely, we could eliminate the Elon threat before it even began. Months turned into years, filled with clandestine research, risky experiments, and countless sleepless nights. We faced setbacks and disappointments, but we never gave up hope. We were fueled by the knowledge that the fate of humanity rested on our shoulders. And then, a breakthrough. We discovered a frequency, a specific sound wave that could resonate with the Elon's genetic code and activate the self-destruct mechanism. It was a risky gamble, but it was our only chance. We devised a plan. Using a network of hidden transmitters, we would broadcast the frequency across the globe, targeting the Elon's avatars. It was a desperate move, a Hail Mary pass with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. The day of the broadcast arrived, and a sense of nervous anticipation filled the air. We activated the transmitters, sending the sound wave rippling through the atmosphere. At first, nothing happened. The Elon continued their charade, their smiles unwavering, their promises of peace ringing hollow. But then, one by one, their avatars began to glitch, their forms flickering and distorting. Panic erupted among the Elon envoys as their true nature was revealed. Their monstrous forms emerged, grotesque and terrifying. The world watched in horror as the truth of the Elon's deception was exposed. The self-destruct mechanism had been activated. The Elon's bodies began to disintegrate, their screams of agony echoing across the globe. It was a gruesome sight, but it was also a victory. Humanity had fought back, and we had won. But our victory was bittersweet. We had saved ourselves from the Elon, but at a great cost. The world was forever changed, scarred by the knowledge of the threat that had lurked in our midst. As I stood amidst the wreckage of the Elon's deception, I couldn't help but think of the cat-lizard creature, the unlikely hero who had started it all. Its act of compassion had ignited a spark of hope within me, a spark that had ultimately saved humanity. In the end, it wasn't our weapons or our technology that had saved us. It was our empathy, our ability to connect with others, even those from different worlds. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the power of compassion could prevail. In the aftermath of the Elon's defeat, humanity embarked on a journey of introspection and healing. The world was forever changed, our perception of the universe forever altered. We were no longer alone, but we were also not as naive as we once were. The Guardians, once a covert task force, were now celebrated as heroes, their dedication and sacrifice hailed as a testament to the human spirit. We used our newfound fame and influence to advocate for greater transparency and cooperation in matters of extraterrestrial contact. But our work was far from over. The Elon may have been defeated, but the universe was vast, filled with countless other species, both benevolent and malevolent. We had to be prepared, not just for the threats we knew, but for the unknown dangers that lurked in the cosmic shadows. We established the Exoplanetary Defense Initiative, EPDI, a global organization dedicated to protecting Earth from future extraterrestrial threats. We recruited the brightest minds from around the world, scientists, engineers, military strategists, all united by a common goal, to safeguard humanity's future. The EPDI's first order of business was to study the Elon technology we had recovered. Their advanced knowledge of genetics, energy manipulation, and interstellar travel held the key to unlocking a new era of scientific discovery. We hoped that by understanding their technology, we could develop our own defenses against future threats. But our research also revealed a troubling truth. The Elon weren't the only ones who had been observing us. Other species had been watching from the shadows, their motives unknown. We were like ants under a magnifying glass, scrutinized by unseen eyes. The realization that we were not alone in the universe was both humbling and terrifying. It forced us to confront our own vulnerabilities, our own shortcomings. But it also ignited a spark of curiosity, a desire to explore the cosmos and discover our place among the stars. We expanded our space exploration program, sending probes and manned missions to distant planets and moons. We sought out other intelligent life, hoping to establish peaceful relations and learn from their experiences. The universe was a vast and mysterious place, filled with wonder and danger. We had learned a valuable lesson from our encounter with the Elon: trust but verify. We would approach every new encounter with caution, but also with hope. The future of humanity was uncertain, but one thing was clear: we were no longer passive observers in the cosmic drama. We were active participants, shaping our own destiny among the stars. We had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. And as we gazed up at the night sky, we knew that our journey had just begun. As the EPDI grew, we faced numerous challenges. The Elon's technology was far more advanced than ours, and deciphering their complex systems proved to be a monumental task. We hit roadblock after roadblock, our progress agonizingly slow. One day, as we were examining a piece of Elon hardware, an alarm blared through the facility. A security breach. My heart pounded in my chest as I rushed to the control room, where a chaotic scene unfolded. On the monitors, I saw them, humanoid figures with glowing blue eyes, infiltrating the facility with chilling efficiency. They moved with a grace and precision that belied their true nature. The Elon had returned. I barked orders, initiating lockdown protocols and mobilizing our security forces. But the Elon were one step ahead of us. They had disabled our communication systems and were systematically taking control of the facility. As I watched the monitors, a cold dread washed over me. Had we underestimated them? Were they truly unstoppable? Just as I was about to order an evacuation, I saw something that made my blood run cold. One of the Elon figures had captured Dr. Chen, her face pale with terror as they dragged her through the corridors. I knew I had to act. Grabbing a weapon from a nearby locker, I made my way through the labyrinthine corridors of the facility, my senses on high alert. The eerie silence was broken only by the hum of the Elon's technology and the distant sound of their footsteps. I rounded a corner and came face to face with two Elon guards. They turned towards me, their eyes glowing with menace. I raised my weapon, but before I could fire, a blur of motion knocked me to the ground. It was the cat-lizard creature, Xylara's former pet. It had somehow followed me back to Earth, a silent guardian watching over me. It snarled at the Elon guards, its small body bristling with fury. The guards hesitated, momentarily distracted by the creature's unexpected appearance. I seized the opportunity, firing a shot that sent one of them sprawling to the ground. The other lunged at me, but the creature leapt onto its back, its claws digging into the Elon's flesh. I scrambled to my feet, my heart pounding. The remaining guard turned towards me, its eyes blazing with hatred. But before it could attack, a blinding flash of light erupted from the creature's body. The Elon guard screamed in agony as the light enveloped it, its form disintegrating into nothingness. The creature, weakened by the effort, collapsed at my feet. I knelt beside it, stroking its fur as its life force slowly ebbed away. It had saved me once again, sacrificing itself to protect me from the Elon. In that moment, I realized the true nature of the battle we were fighting. It wasn't just about technology or strategy, it was about the power of connection, of empathy, of the unwavering bond between species. The creature's sacrifice was not in vain. Its final act had revealed a vulnerability in the Elon's defenses, a chink in their seemingly impenetrable armor. We realized that their connection to their avatars wasn't just a technological link, it was a spiritual one. The destruction of an avatar not only weakened their physical presence but also dealt a blow to their collective consciousness. With renewed determination, we devised a new strategy. We would use the Elon's own technology against them, turning their strength into their weakness. We developed a device capable of amplifying the self-destruct frequency, targeting the Elon's core consciousness on Planet X. The mission was fraught with danger. We had to infiltrate their homeworld, navigate their defenses, and plant the device in the heart of their power source. It was a suicide mission, but we knew it was our only hope. A small team of volunteers, including myself and Captain Zhang, embarked on the perilous journey. We modified one of the Elon's captured ships, cloaking it in their own technology to avoid detection. The journey was long and arduous, filled with tense moments and near misses. As we approached Planet X, we could feel the oppressive weight of the Elon's presence. Their energy permeated the atmosphere, a dark cloud hanging over the once vibrant world. We landed in a secluded area, far from the Elon's main cities. Under the cover of darkness, we made our way towards their central power source, a massive crystalline structure that pulsed with an eerie light. We encountered resistance along the way, but our training and the element of surprise were on our side. We fought our way through the Elon's defenses, each step bringing us closer to our goal. Finally, we reached the power source. The air crackled with energy, the ground trembling beneath our feet. We planted the device, its timer ticking down, and made our escape. As we raced back to our ship, the Elon's alarms blared, their forces converging on our position. We knew we didn't have much time. We reached the ship just as the Elon closed in. We blasted off, the planet's gravity tugging at us as we struggled to gain altitude. Then, it happened. A blinding flash of light engulfed the planet, followed by a shockwave that rocked our ship. We watched in awe as the Elon's power source imploded, taking their entire civilization with it. The Elon were gone, their reign of terror finally over. Our return to Earth was met with jubilation and relief. Humanity had once again triumphed over adversity, our resilience and ingenuity shining through in the face of overwhelming odds. But amidst the celebrations, I couldn't shake the feeling of loss. The Elon, for all their flaws, were a remarkable species. They had achieved technological marvels and possessed a deep understanding of the universe. It was a tragedy that their thirst for survival had led them down such a dark path. In the end, the Elon's legacy was a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of empathy. We had learned a valuable lesson, one that would guide us as we ventured further into the cosmos. Humanity's future was uncertain, but we were determined to forge our own path among the stars. We would explore, we would learn, and we would always strive to be better than those who had come before us. In the wake of the Elon's demise, humanity experienced a renaissance of scientific and technological advancement. The Elon's knowledge, though tainted by their sinister intentions, proved to be a treasure trove of information. We made leaps and bounds in fields like energy production, genetic engineering, and even interstellar travel. The EPTI became a beacon of hope, a symbol of humanity's resilience and determination. We expanded our reach, establishing outposts on other planets and moons, always vigilant for any signs of extraterrestrial activity. But the universe, as we were quickly learning, was a vast and unpredictable place. Our newfound confidence was soon challenged by a series of mysterious events. Strange energy readings were detected at the edge of our solar system, anomalies that defied explanation. Ships venturing into deep space reported encountering inexplicable phenomena, glitches in their systems, and even hallucinations among their crew. Then the messages started. Cryptic signals from unknown sources, their origins untraceable. Some were simple mathematical sequences, others complex patterns of light and sound. We tried to decipher them, to understand their meaning, but they remained stubbornly indecipherable. The world grew uneasy. Were these the actions of another hostile alien race? A warning from a benevolent one? Or something else entirely? The EPTI worked tirelessly to uncover the truth, but the more we learned, the more questions we had. The universe seemed to be whispering to us, revealing its secrets in tantalizing glimpses, but always keeping the full picture just out of reach. One day, a transmission unlike any other reached our listening posts. It wasn't a series of numbers or patterns, it was a voice. A voice that spoke in a language we had never heard before, yet somehow, we understood its meaning. "We are coming," it said. "Prepare yourselves." Panic swept through the EPTI. Who was speaking? What did they want? And were we ready for whatever was coming? We scrambled to mobilize our defenses, to prepare for the unknown. We reached out to other species we had made contact with, hoping for allies in this new crisis. But the answers we received were vague and unsettling. The universe, it seemed, was holding its breath, waiting for the next act in this cosmic drama to unfold. As the countdown to the arrival of the unknown force began, humanity found itself on the precipice of a new era. The fate of our species, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. And as the final hours ticked away, we could only wonder, who were these mysterious beings, and what did their arrival mean for the future of humanity?